The best positions for healthy sleep. Well, let me start with how you shouldn't sleep to ensure a healthy rest. Well, first of all, you shouldn't sleep on your back because it makes snoring and sleep apnea worse. You shouldn't sleep on your left side because it negatively affects your heart function. You shouldn't sleep on your right side because it causes belching and heartburn. And you shouldn't sleep on your stomach either because your head lies at an awkward angle and your neck hurts. So how should you sleep then? Like a Przewalski's horse, you need to sleep standing up. But actually that's a joke, and in this video I'll tell you about healthy sleeping positions. By the way, I remember how our little one used to sleep when he was about a year old. He would get on all fours and stick his butt up in the air. His head would be turned completely to the side like this, and he would sleep perfectly well. Despite numerous attempts to lay him down and put him to sleep or waking up ourselves, he would always end up in the same position again. So, you see, there can be different positions, but still some are more or less beneficial. That's what we'll discuss with you today. Watch this video until the end, and I'll tell you how you can figure out which position is the most comfortable for you so that you get a good night's sleep. Side sleeping position. This is the most common position. In 60% of cases, a person sleeps on their side, and generally, this is often the most comfortable position. It helps to relieve back pain. And in this situation, if you have any problems with back pain or lower back pain, it's also recommended to place a small pillow or a folded blanket between your legs. And this also helps to provide a more comfortable body position and reduce lower back pain. Also, if we are talking about such a problem as I have already mentioned in my videos, snoring and sleep apnea, there is usually much less snoring when lying on your side than, for example, when lying on your back. Because when lying on your back, your tongue falls back and rests against the back wall of the throat, which actually makes snoring and sleep apnea worse. Turning onto your side makes sleeping easier. The question is, which side is better to sleep on, right or left? In general, if a person is healthy enough, there is practically no difference. But anxious people or people with heart conditions sometimes feel their heartbeat, and this simply irritates them and prevents them from falling asleep. And in principle, when lying on the left side, a person more often feels their heart beating. In this sense, lying on the right side is preferable. If we talk about the right side, on the contrary, belching and heartburn may occur more often. Well, that's because the internal organs are specifically arranged that way. So in general, if a person is healthy, there is no difference, but there may be preferences depending on certain illnesses that a person has. Well, naturally, lying on your side is not very acceptable if a person has pain in some part of the body, for example, the right shoulder or the left shoulder. In this sense, a forced position that does not allow a person to sleep on one of their sides. If you prefer to sleep on your side, it doesn't matter which one, right or left, give this video a like. The next position is on the back, and the most common reason why girls or women prefer to sleep on their back is to avoid the formation of wrinkles. And actually, if a person lies on their back, there's less chance of any skin deformation and fewer wrinkles. What is the issue with sleeping on your back? More pain occurs. And especially if the person also has an unsuitable mattress, if it's firmer than it should be. Actually, that's also a separate topic for discussion. Most people here prefer to sleep on a firm mattress. But our spine has 4 curves. And if our body only touches the mattress at a few points, and the spine itself, the base, then muscle tonic tension occurs, and often there is back pain and lower back pain. And in this sense, if you prefer to sleep on your back, the mattress should be softer to reduce these sensations of pain. What other issues arise from sleeping on your back? The problem is that snoring gets worse and sleep apnea, or the condition where breathing stops during sleep, also gets worse. When you lie on your back, the tongue falls back, narrowing the airways, which leads to increased snoring and more breathing pauses. In this sense, on the contrary, we try to turn the person onto their side to reduce snoring and apnea.
And on their side, people snore less?
People can also snore on their side. Typically, snoring first occurs when lying on the back, and later it can also happen on the side. The same applies to apnea. A person first snores on their back, then also on their side. Then breathing stops start to occur on the back and later on the side as well. In severe sleep apnea, snoring and apnea occur in any body position, but initially it only happens when lying on the back.
So if a person has problems with snoring, for example, is there a recommendation to specifically avoid sleeping on their back? Let's say,
Definitely there is. Moreover, we even forbid a person from sleeping on their back. And how is this done? To prevent a person from rolling onto their back while sleeping, sew a small pocket between the shoulder blades of a t-shirt and insert a tennis ball. The discomfort will wake them up if they attempt to roll over. Instead of having your wife's or your bed partner's elbow there, the person wakes up and turns onto their side. And sometimes when a person is on their back, they snore loudly, but when they're on their side, they sleep normally and quietly. Or sometimes when we're on our back, we have 30 to 40 breathing pauses per hour, but on our side, there are no pauses. So in fact, we eliminate sleep apnea simply by changing our position. But this way, we are basically forcing ourselves to sleep on our side. Some people prefer to sleep on their stomach, and that's also a perfectly acceptable position. But here, there might be problems with the cervical spine, because in this position, our head will definitely be turned strongly to the side. And moreover, this is the maximum contact of the face with the bedding, which can also cause a bit more wrinkle formation. That's the pose. And here too, the issue is that you need a slightly firmer mattress, because if the mattress is soft and sags a bit, it will be hard for us to lie arched in the opposite direction. In a hammock, we can lie on our back, but we can't lie on our stomach in a hammock. In this sense, if a person likes to sleep on their stomach, they need a slightly firmer mattress. But it's also important to pay attention to the pillow depending on your sleeping position. If you sleep on your side, you need a thicker pillow because of the width of your shoulder. And another interesting point is also when you choose a pillow, the thickness of the pillow. You need to choose it on the same mattress that you sleep on at home. For example, if you go to a store, but at home you sleep on a firm mattress. You need a thicker pillow because your shoulder doesn't sink into the mattress, so a thicker pillow will support your head in a parallel position to your body. But if the mattress is soft, your shoulder will sink in. And you need a thinner pillow. If you sleep on your back, an even thinner pillow. And if you sleep on your stomach, usually a very thin pillow. Sometimes people even prefer to sleep without a pillow at all. So, depending on which position you prefer to sleep in, you need to choose the right pillow for yourself to ensure the most comfortable sleep. I would like to say that you can try to choose any position, but if you are stressed or have insomnia, no position will feel comfortable for you. In this regard, I would like to recommend reading my book. It's called Stress and Insomnia: How to Break Out of the Vicious Cycle. And there you will find a step-by-step guide that allows you to significantly improve the quality of your sleep in just 12 days. If you take certain actions and improve the quality of your sleep, then in fact every position you sleep in will become more comfortable. You can find the link to this book in the description of this video. There are also so-called forced positions. For example, a person with heart failure has to raise the head of the bed, that is, elevate the head so that the fluid flows down a bit, and accordingly it becomes easier for the person to breathe. Or, on the contrary, sometimes it is necessary to raise the legs of a person with venous insufficiency and swelling in the legs so that the fluid drains from the legs and the swelling decreases. In this sense, by the way, there are special so-called transformer beds, which allow you to raise the head, raise the legs, and change the position of the torso in space. And for pregnant women, for example, who have what is called an abnormal fetal position, sometimes it is even recommended to sleep with the head of the bed lowered. That is, they sleep with their legs elevated and their head lower. This enables the fetus to develop more easily and effectively. Well, in general, in some cases, it is even recommended to consult a doctor about which positions to take at night in order to alleviate certain medical problems that patients may have. Well, as I promised, about the very best position for you. If you sleep well, feel energetic, active, able to work, and you don't have any pain in the morning, then that's your position. Don't overthink it. What I told you before. Remember my friend who slept with his butt up and slept perfectly well. So if you like sleeping on your back, and we say that it might somehow be harmful, but it doesn't cause you any harm at all. Sleep on your back. If you want to sleep on your stomach, sleep on your stomach. That is, the main thing is not to overthink how you should sleep, because sometimes just the thoughts themselves, some outside requirements. With so much advice on how to sleep, people often worry and end up sleeping worse or less. You'll be thinking about it and end up sleeping in some position you never even thought about or knew, and that's actually your perfect sleeping position. And could you please tell me, what position do you prefer to sleep in? Write in the comments and maybe share what made you choose this position, what made you sleep that way, or why you like it so much. And I will try, of course, to read all of this and comment, maybe even give some useful advice on choosing sleeping positions.